Hello, how we doing? Can you hear me? Looks like you can. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Rob. If you are new here, then welcome. It's really nice to have you here. And if you are returning, welcome back. Yeah, we do this every week and we have a lot of fun with it. Monica, thank you so... Oh, I almost hit the wrong button. I almost hit the Jingle Bells button. Let's hit that button right there. Thank you so much, Monica, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Just want to say thank you and thank you. How's everybody doing? Who's all here? Why don't you... So, yeah, I don't have much planned for today except for me showing up, and I'll be here for a couple hours to answer any questions that you have. It's been a busy couple of days. I filmed a video yesterday morning, but didn't have time to finish editing it until this morning, and then I posted it this morning. Actually, I ran into a bit of a snag with YouTube. I don't know, has this ever happened to you? You get that, what was it called? Processing will begin shortly. And it seemed to be stuck on that for at least half an hour, and I'm just not used to seeing that. So I ended up deleting it and re-uploading it, and it worked. So anyways, then I went for a walk. Video went out while I was out for the walk, and I just got back 15 minutes ago, had a quick lunch, and here I am. Anyways, you don't need to hear all that. Who is here? Let me just jump right into the chat to see who's all here. Actually, I asked a question about my audio. I just want to make sure it's okay. I see a bunch of yeses, so it must be okay. I'm not very good at looking at the live chat. I'll try to do that. Hello, Karen is here. Or sorry, Catherine is here. Scott is here. Nerdy Meeple, that's a cool name. Let's get in. Mike is here. How you doing, Mike? Mike's Adventure Sparks. Muddy Toes Farm is here. Good to see you again. Let's see, who else we got? Scott, boy, that first quarter century just flew by, didn't it? Yeah, I get it. That's right. I never even thought of it that way. But yeah, it's over. It's over. This is the first year of the second quarter. And we've got Harrow Beds Thoughts Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the live streams. These are cool because, and I've noticed this, I sometimes drop in on other people's live streams and I'll see a whole bunch of like people that I meet and know from in here. And it's cool because I'll see a lot of familiar faces that I normally see here in these chats or in these live streams on other people's live streams. So I just think it's cool that, there's a community growing here, not just here, but in your YouTube channels as well. Peanut, what are you doing? She's just getting in my way. So anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. That's pretty cool. We've got Nafisa is here. How you doing, Nafisa? Glow with God Nisha is here. Hello, Steve Brocky's in the house. Evening, everyone. Not quite evening here, but getting there. I guess it's mid-afternoon. Evening in Scotland where you are. Who else we got? Rob's videos have been such a help and encouragement in my channel. That's awesome to hear, Michael. Glad you are getting. I'm glad you're getting some help from my videos. Can't speak this morning. It's cold. Actually, it's not as cold today as it was yesterday. If you saw the video I just put out, I filmed that yesterday morning, and that was really cold. I don't know why it was minus 13 or minus 15 or something. Celsius, which is low single digits in Fahrenheit. That's a bit cold. but the sunrise was beautiful. So if you want to see a cool sunrise, go check out that video. Let's see. CL Fantasy Waves is here. Good to see you. We just got our first thumbs down. Thank you very much, whoever that was. We'll just keep rolling with it. Hello, Miss Gee. Raleigh and Ron Messimer. Happy New NY. Warmed up to 37 Fahrenheit in northern PA. 37 Fahrenheit. Okay, so above zero. Above freezing. That's cool. That's a little more manageable. Hey, Lori. Good to see you here. Happy Tuesday to you as well. All right. Karen is here. How you doing, Karen? Belinda is here. Belinda's babies. Good to see you. All right, let's see. I definitely need encouragement. Well, consider yourself encouraged. That's what we're all about here. We'll try to encourage everybody. We can all do this. I'm no more special than anybody else who does this YouTube thing, successful or not successful. We're all just trying to find our way, right? And actually, the video that I just put out today, it's doing fairly well. 3 out of 10, I think, the last I checked, which, doesn't even really matter. But I didn't put a whole lot of effort into that video, I will say. I looked outside. I was in my office here. I looked outside. Wow, cool sunset, or cool sunrise. I should go make a video. What am I going to make a video about? Film when it's hard, okay? Like record when it's hard. Don't wait for it to be easy, something like that. So I thought, cool, that's good. That's all I need. Didn't do a cue card. I didn't write down any notes or anything. I just had a title in my mind. Went out and actually, I you'll see the video. I pressed record on my phone while I was still inside because I was putting big heavy gloves on that I would not be able to press record on my phone with these gloves. So anyways, I walked through that. Anyways, I went outside, I filmed that video, and I just talked. And I think it was, 8 minutes? I think I talked for I think I recorded for maybe 15 minutes and got an 8-minute video out of it, something like that. But yeah, it was cold. But yeah, I didn't, and I just talked, and you'll probably notice, he's kind of random with his thoughts here, because at one point I got into why salt water doesn't freeze. Why the ocean here is not frozen when it's well below zero outside. So anyways, we'll see how that does. I went off topic there, but yeah. So didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. I did not do that much editing, although the editing took me longer than normal because I used Final Cut Pro, something a program I'm teaching myself how to use. So yeah, as with any new software, once you get into it, it's going to take a little bit of time. I'm trying to do things I know I can do in Camtasia, and it's not working in Final Cut. I know Final Cut, there are more things you can do. I just have to get used to it. So there we go. All right, who else we got here? Oh, I love the side note of why the water doesn't freeze around you. Heidi says, yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes these little tidbits are interesting, but, you know, for other people, that's probably when they click off because I didn't stay on topic. Oh, thumbs down was by accident. My bad. Oh, it's gone. Awesome. Cool. It's no big deal. Engagement is engagement. I think thumbs downs are, I mean, the thumbs up always way outweighs the thumbs down, in my case anyways. But, get the odd thumbs down, and I just kind of laugh along with it. It's all good. All right. I watched a video about uploads getting stuck. If I remember correctly, it said to simply hit the video to upload again, not to cancel, but then it would continue where it stopped. Well, what I found, and I used ChatGPT to try to figure it out, it suggested, give it another maybe up to an hour. And I'm like, I don't want to wait an hour. I want this to go live now. So anyway, the long and the short of it is, it did say, well, if you want, you can delete it, because sometimes it just gets kind of stuck on and what did they call it? Not a node, but maybe a server or something that has a backlog of processing to do at YouTube. The problem wasn't at my end. The video uploaded just fine, but it just kind of got stuck. And sometimes that happens, it said, if YouTube is just really bogged down and there's a lot of traffic coming through, a lot of videos being uploaded. I didn't think that was the case because I figure, there was nothing special about this day that I could tell, or that I could think of. But it also said, or you could just delete it and try to upload it again. It might get you on a different server and have no trouble. So that's what I did, and that worked. So there you go. I learned something today, and hopefully you guys can learn from it too. All right. 63 degrees in Los Angeles today. That would be nice. Nice. Some people in Los Angeles might think that's cool, I suppose, but I would think that's real nice. Aussie Stephanie is here. Hello, Stephanie. Good to see you. Cold in California, Encouragement Seeker says. I bet you that's relative, though. Cold. Relative to what California normally is, perhaps. Although California is huge. There's Northern California, and I know you have snowy mountains up there. All right, there's a question. What editing program would you recommend for someone just getting started with no experience? So I'm going to say the same thing. I don't know if I usually say this, but honestly, they will all work just fine. If you want one that's easy to learn, I might just suggest start with something that's free. If you're on a Mac, I would suggest just using iMovie because it's free. It comes on all Macs, and there's a mobile version on your phone as well, or if it's not, you can download it to your phone. It's free. And then if you want something more, eventually you can upgrade, or it's not an upgrade, it's a different program, but you could buy Final Cut Pro. That is kind of like an upgraded version of iMovie. It looks and feels a little bit the same. Both made by Apple, right? What? What are you doing? So there's that, and but I also recommend Camtasia, even though I'm kind of moving away from it, but I've been using it for many years, and it's available for Mac or Windows. It's not free, but I find it very easy to use, very easy to learn as well, very easy to teach. I used to make, or I've got a lot of videos on this channel actually teaching you how to use Camtasia. But the bottom line is, whichever one you choose and get used to, it'll do what you need it to. Some of them are harder to learn, though. Vinci Resolve, even Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, like those, I would consider those ones like the hardest to learn, but the ones that can do the most. But I'll tell you, the things that I do in my videos, I don't get super complicated. So any of the editing software would suffice for me, right? So I don't need to get super fancy. So anyway, I hope that helped. Catherine says, I use iMovie even now that I do vlogs that need a lot of editing. I love it. Perfect. Use what you get used to. And I will say this, once you get used to one, if you end up in a place where, you know what, I'm really familiar with this, I can use it no problem, but there are some things that I'd like to be able to do that I can't do with this one, and I know it's just not possible in that program, and you want to switch to something else, I will tell you that once you do learn one program, switching to another is relatively easy. I mean, there's going to be some different ways of doing things, but for the most part, they all have a canvas where you see what's going on, a timeline where you put things when you want them to happen, and then maybe a properties window to change how things look, and some effects and things like that. So they're all pretty much laid out the same or similar. CapCut is another one. Descript is another one. Yeah, so there's several to choose from. Rob uses Canva, as do many of us. So that must be for thumbnails. I use Canva for thumbnails. Oh, there's a question, Michael. Actually, I should put in the QQQ. Let's see what questions we got. But yeah, for thumbnails, I use Canva, 100%. Thanks, Rob, for the extra 5 minutes to finish record when it's hard. Very good, yeah. Yeah, actually, the reason I needed the extra 5 minutes is because I actually timed a walk. I went for an 8K walk after I uploaded that video, and I knew I had an hour and a half, and I kind of figured it out. All right, I can do this walk in an hour 40. No, wait now, hour and a half? Anyway, I'm getting my hour 40, hour 20. What's 80 minutes? 60 and 20, an hour 20. So 40 minutes per 4K, 10 minutes a kilometer, right? So yeah, I got back around 1:45 the time that I go live, and I was starving. So I wanted something to eat. So the 5 minutes was so that I could finish my ramen noodles. So there you go. Did you have a good Christmas and New Year, Rob? I did, Steve. Thank you very much. I did. So far, so good. New Year is looking promising. Actually, today's video is the first video I've uploaded this year. So there you go. There you go. Hi, Rob, Muddy Toes Farm. You previously mentioned, gotta slow down. If a video is doing well, going viral, posting another video could stunt it. Paraphrasing, yep. I pondered this. Could you elaborate? Have you found it true? This is something that I go back and forth on. Let me take a quick little drink here. I guess it depends on how far along your video is. The way I think about it now, currently, if you have a video going viral and you've just recently uploaded it, so that maybe your subscribers are still seeing it for the first time, like in the first couple of days, 2-3 days, and it's going really well, I feel like you at least want your subscribers to get through your viral video first before you put another one up for them to see. Okay, so there's that. But also on another level, if you have a video going viral, let's say you uploaded it a month ago, and now all of a sudden it's going great. Do you want to just let it keep going, or can you post again? The danger of posting another video would be that if there's somebody out there who YouTube thinks might be interested in your videos, or your viral video, and perhaps the new video you want to post, they will only put one thumbnail on YouTube's home screen for them. Okay, so when this person is deciding what video to watch next, one of your videos might pop up there, right? 2 of your videos will not pop up there, only one. So that's the way I look at it. So if you have one that is getting popped up on a lot of people's home pages, right? If you then upload another video, post a brand new video, it may end up competing with that viral video for that space in front of the person who might be interested in watching your video. That's kind of the way I think about that. But then on the flip side, like right now, for instance, I have a video doing very well. Out of the blue, it's picked up steam. It's one from last March, and it all of a sudden has decided to. It's got a bit of an uptick, and it's getting over 100 views an hour right now. But then, so should I, like it was down to maybe 20 views an hour. It's still pretty good. I mean, it's got over 500,000 views now. It actually is my highest viewed video now. It passed my my initial viral video from a year and a half ago. So my new best video has over 500,000 views and is getting over 100 views an hour right now. But even though that's happening, that did not stop me from uploading today's video, because I'm feeling like today's video gets uploaded, it's going to get pushed in front of my subscribers and the people who regularly watch my videos first, right? You guys, perhaps. But that other one that is having a resurgence, it's probably not having a resurgence due to my existing subscribers and my existing viewers. It's getting put in front of new people, which is awesome. But that's why I don't believe it would be competing with anything new I put up right now. So do you kind of follow? I'm trying to think through it logically, because there's no book that I can go to find the answer to this question, right? We can only kind of try to figure, like see what we see and try to figure out what, what's the best way forward. So I don't know. I hope that helps. A little bit of an insight into my thought process. Not really a question, but I just purchased the tripod that you mentioned in your descriptions. I love how sturdy it is. Thanks for recommending it. Awesome. That's great. I'm glad it worked out for you. Congrats on starting to learn FCP, Final Cut Pro. Be sure to subscribe to Dylan Bates, the Final Cut Bro. Oh, I've seen. Yes, I don't know if I've subscribed, but I've watched enough of his videos that I see them now. I have seen his videos. He's the guy with the longish hair, I think, right? Blonde guy, I think. But yeah, if that's the case, I have seen some of his videos, and they've been helpful. That's what I do. Like I open up Final Cut Pro, I try to figure out, well, how can I, like simple things. Like I want to make the audio in the timeline. I want to make my audio track taller so I can see the audio waveforms better. And with Camtasia, you go over to the left side, and you just kind of drag it and make it taller. In Final Cut Pro, it didn't seem to be as easy. So I've got YouTube open, I've got ChatGPT open, and depending on the question, I will ask one or the other or both and go from there. That's why the process is a little bit slower. Thank you, Catherine. Absolutely. I don't always get to all questions. You are 100% correct. DaVinci Resolve is also free. It can do everything. Corey, yes, thanks, Corey. I didn't mention that. DaVinci Resolve, absolutely. That's a great. It's a great one. It's a great video editing app. There's a free version and a paid version. 98% of the people who are making YouTube videos only need the free version. And I actually ended up getting the paid version a couple of years ago. At the time, mostly because of the transcribing that it was doing automatically in the paid version. So that's why I have it, and you buy it once and you have it forever. So there's that. And the other thing, with the paid version, it uses GPU acceleration, so I think your renders would be quite a bit faster than with the free version. But yeah, start with the free version for sure, and if you are okay with how long the renders take, and it's not super long, then you're fine, because the free version will do 4K video too. 4K 60, I think. 60 frames per second. What would you recommend people in the 30s compared to the 40s? Are there other things to consider? Not really. No, I'm just trying to think now. What would you recommend for people in the 30s? It really depends. What are we talking about here? In starting a YouTube channel? I mean, most of the... If I were to look at the stats of the like the people who watch my videos, it's generally people from age 40 to 70, right? And beyond, into the 80s and 90s even. But I think the largest group is people from 45 to 55. The second largest group is 35 to 45. So, I mean, there's really no difference in the recommendations. The only thing I would say is that, like, a lot of times I might talk about you've lived life experiences, and you can talk, like, if you are older in age, you've got, like, the older you are, the more life experience you've gone through. So theoretically, the more you have potentially to talk about, or the more stories you might be able to use when you are trying to make a point in, you know, the video that you're making. So I guess the longer you've lived, the more potential content you have, right? And the more you can be, I don't know if I'm making much sense, but that's really the only thing. Like, if I make a video that says, if you're over 40, here's why I think you need to start a YouTube channel, it's mostly because you've got life experiences, you can help out somebody who's younger, okay? That's kind of the way I look at it, because in all of my videos and my channel, I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to help people be able to do what I do. So that's a big part of what I do. And, you know, if I were to think about it, like, who am I trying to help? It's probably a younger version of myself, right? Like, so I've wanted to do this for a while, and I've been an entrepreneur. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. I've been an entrepreneur for like over 20 years. Tried some things didn't work out, some things did, and so on and so on. So I've learned some things as I went along. And part of what I'm doing here is trying to help out my younger self, like somebody like my younger self, so that perhaps they don't have to go through as much as I did, as much learning. I can maybe help them along. So maybe the younger you are, the less experience you have. That's all. I don't really know how else to say it. But there's plenty of people in their 30s that have tons of life experience. There's people in their 20s that's got a lot of life experience who can talk about it and help people younger than them, right? That's the crux of it. Like, there's a lot of, if you really think about it, there's a lot of people out there on their computers, on their phones, and they're scrolling, and they're watching videos, and a lot of them need help with things. They're either searching for solutions for specific things, or maybe, you know, maybe some people aren't in a great mental state, and they watch videos to help them get through whatever they're going through. I got part of a peanut in my mouth. I had these chocolate-covered almonds, not peanuts. And what keeps rearing its ugly head? I can't. All right, get down. Get out of my teeth. Sorry, that's kind of gross. So yeah, I don't know. Does that help? I think I've talked that one to death, but that's I think you get my drift there. What do you use for thumbnails? Canva. There's an easy answer. And I've got 2 videos on my channel that talk about exactly how I make my thumbnails with Canva. So it usually starts with a screenshot from the video I just made, drop it into Canva, put some text on it, maybe brighten some things up, right? That's pretty much what I do. Question: I use CapCut for video editing and need to switch to their paid version to use some features. But I just found out they are owned by ByteDance. Yes. Should I stay away from giving payment info to them? I mean, that's hard for me to answer. I had CapCut at one point, but I let my subscription expire. At the time I was learning it. I wanted to learn all about it. But yeah, if you go back to last summer, there was some things in the news, or no, it was even before that, maybe last spring even. There were things in the news about ByteDance. I mean, and the fact, so for those who don't know, ByteDance owns TikTok, okay? They also own CapCut. In fact, they created CapCut to help TikTokers make better videos and to put captions in their videos, right? So that's why CapCut was created, and it was a free editing app for people making TikToks. It has since evolved into, like, it's not just a phone app anymore. You can download it to your computer and you can edit fully blown videos, widescreen, I mean, like long form as well. And there's a paid version, okay? Yeah, I don't even know if there is a free version or if it's a free trial now. I'm not sure. But anyways, what ended up in the news is that CapCut has something in their terms of service, and I might get this wrong, so feel free to correct me, but something in their terms of service basically says anything you use to create your videos, they own. Okay? So in other words, if you go outside, you film yourself, you're making a video, and now you come back to your office and you want to make a video out of that, you want to edit the video in CapCut, if you use their cloud version, like you don't download the app, if you use their cloud version, you have to upload your video to CapCut and get it into the system before you edit it. As soon as you do that, you've given it to them. They own it. They own your footage. That's what hit the news. And so it's the privacy policy. And the fact that it's a Chinese-based company as well turned a lot of people off. Okay, so what ended up happening, and I think actually this goes back to about a year ago, in the United States, so I'm in Canada, but I read all the news. In the United States, the government banned TikTok for, I forget how long it was. I don't think it was long, like I don't even think it was a week, like a couple days maybe, like over a weekend. I think it was done on a Friday, and by Monday maybe it was corrected. But anyway, they banned TikTok, and through fears of it being Chinese owned and whatever the government was afraid of. But they banned it. And what happened was not only did TikTok get banned, that's what made the news, but so did CapCut. So anybody who had been editing videos with CapCut, now they didn't have access to it if you're based in the United States. From the United States, you could not get access to your CapCut videos in CapCut. Okay, so then they reversed it. I think they realized how many people this is affecting, how many Americans this is affecting. There's a lot of Americans make a living with TikTok, right? So anyway, they reversed that, but who's to say they're not going to do that again? So that would be my concern. Like, who knows? Like, and it might have to do with whoever's in power in the United States. Like when there's a government regime, not regime, that's a bad word. If the government changes, like from one party to the other, you know, they might have different ideas. They might ban it. Like, who knows? So that would be a concern of mine if I were in the United States. The privacy thing is another concern, right? So if you're concerned at all about any of that, then yeah, I would stay away from CapCut. But if that doesn't bother you, if you're not filming anything that you care, one more thing, and I've made this point before. What does it mean if they own your footage? Well, what it could mean is they could sell it, right? Like, let's say somebody else uses CapCut to make a video ad, let's say, for either themselves or a company they're working for. And maybe this ad is for, I don't know, like a pig farm, okay, where they harvest pigs for the meat or whatever, okay? I'm just using, this is the example in my head. I saw this somewhere else on somebody else's video a long time ago. But let's say they're making this type of video and they go to CapCut's stock footage area or images and find some things to use to put in their videos. One of those things might be you. and let's say you're a vegetarian. Now, theoretically, you could be a vegetarian in an ad for a meat farm, right? So and you would have no control because somebody else owns your stuff and they sold it to somebody else. And so, I don't know. Did I explain that all right? That's my understanding of how all that kind of played out last year and why people got nervous about CapCut. So, that said, let me just take a quick look at the current chat to see if I said anything that was wrong. Let's see. Filmora is owned by Wondershare, a Chinese-owned company. Okay. I knew they were owned by Wondershare. I did not know that they were based in China, but there you go. Let's see. No, I don't think there's anything else. If you love CapCut, an alternative is Filmora, both made by the same developer, owned by different companies. I did not know that. Very good. Yes, I remember the TikTok ban. Okay. Please explain how to add a thumbnail to my video. You do that in YouTube Studio. Right below, like when you upload a video, you scroll down a little further. There's a spot right there that says add your thumbnail here. If you don't add one, YouTube will take a snapshot from your video and use it at random. If you see that snapshot, that's where you upload your own video. You can click on it. There's 3 dots there. Click on it and add your own. All right, moving right along. Monkey Wrench, how you doing? Do you think one can have a YouTube channel and work 15 to 30 hours per week if you create 1 video per week and mentor 2 clients a week? Sounds busy, but sure. Yeah, why not? I guess it depends on, so you work 15 to 30 hours. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think that's a problem at all. I probably work 60 or more hours a week, but I don't consider it work. So to me, I don't think that's a bad thing. If it was 100 hours a week, I wouldn't even think that's a bad thing, as long as I take vacations here and there, I suppose. But yeah, you got to like what you do, basically. The harder it is to find time to do YouTube, the more important it is that you really enjoy doing YouTube, so that when you're doing it in your downtime, it's something you want to do anyways. But yeah, I don't see a problem with that. One thing you could do to speed things up or to make it easier is to make a lot of videos in a short amount of time, which will get you used to editing faster, right? When I really ramped up my channel, I was making 3 videos a week, and I was probably still spending 20 hours a week working as a freelancer through Fiverr. So 20 hours a week doing freelance stuff, plus 3 videos a week, and then added 1 live stream of about 2 hours per week as well. But maybe I'm crazy. Are you using a webcam? The clarity is amazing. No, actually, this is my Sony camera. Let me grab my phone. What are you doing up there? Let me grab my phone. 1 second. Phone. Okay, say hi. All right, I will just put that on this so I can move it around. And now, what did you want me to show you? Jeez, my memory. Oh, my camera. Back to the iPhone. That's what I'm using right there. So that's my Sony camera. All right, I'm going to show you the dusty back again. So it's a ZVE10. God, the dust. And it is plugged into my Mac via that cam link right there. Cam link. And plugged right in there. Okay. So the cam link is crucial for that setup. And that will allow you to use better cameras, better lenses. Okay. So that's why you can see like the background back there. Oh, she's up on her chair. The background is a little bit blurrier than me. I don't know, does that look better or not? I don't know. Like if I just use this with my phone, there, everything is kind of clear. If I put the phone kind of in the same place, I mean, not exactly, like my laptop's in the way. Like I'm in focus, but so is the background. Okay, so that's the difference. If I had my camera or my iPhone in cinematic mode, that tries to, with software, tries to mimic this look with the fuzzy or blurry background, but it does it with software. It's not as natural as doing it with a lens. Okay, so that's what I use. Have you found any troubles recording outside in sub-zero temperatures with a cell phone? I am from St. John, New Brunswick. Oh, not very far from where I am. And the other day it was -17, and I am worried about the battery. No, I have not noticed a problem. So again, the video I made this morning, or that I shot yesterday morning, I think it was -15 when I recorded it, and I didn't have any trouble. The biggest trouble I had was my fingers were cold. And I used my phone, my cell phone. I did not have a selfie stick. I also used my DJI mic, but I did not have the receiver in the phone. So just my mic recording to itself. You can do that with the DJI 1, 2, or 3, not with the Mini. The Mini does not have a hard drive or a SSD in it. So you can record right to the mic. and my phone, and I did not have any trouble at all. When it's really cold, the battery might drain a little faster, but I mean, in my case, if I'm outside filming for half an hour even, it doesn't move the needle that much. Now, the older your phone is, the worse the battery gets, and it drains a little faster, right? But even yesterday, I was out there for, I filmed for around 20 minutes, and then I continued walking. I walked 8K yesterday too, so I was walking for over an hour with my phone with me, and it still had 75% of the battery left when I got back. I always make sure my battery is full, 100% when I go outside. It's usually plugged in at my desk so that it's full when I go out, but it never goes below 50%. And that's the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So it is a year old. I got it early January last year, so it's a year old now. So yeah, no, go for it. Go for it. I don't think you'll have any issues. I need suggestions on beginner videos on how to have a YouTube channel. Can you suggest some and programs, because they're all keep charging me? I mean, YouTube is free. If I want to learn how to do anything, I go to YouTube. You don't have to buy anything from anybody to learn how to do YouTube on YouTube, right? You just go to YouTube and search whatever you're having trouble with. Ask a question like, what should I use? Or use ChatGPT if you're not sure how to ask the right question or what to search for. You can ask ChatGPT, what do I search for? I want to make a YouTube video. How do I do it? That might help. I mean, tuning into this live stream might help too, right? I try to answer as many questions as I can. If you have a specific question, let me know. That's a little bit too general to cover in a couple minutes. Did a live stream yesterday, and YouTube automatically took a live clip and posted it. What are your thoughts on this? YouTube did? I don't know. My initial thought would be free advertising, right? That's my initial thought. Like, I'm not concerned with privacy issues or anything like that, or It depends on what kind of content you're making. If you're in it, right, if you're in your videos, which is what I'm a big believer in, putting yourself in your videos, then any concerns about theft of videos and all that stuff go away because you go with it, right? If somebody wants to grab a piece of my video and post it somewhere else, have at her because I'm okay with that. So that's my first thought, not knowing the context behind your question. But that would be my first thought. Do you have any suggestions of how to keep your script easy to read while filming? Kind of a jerk comment by me, but my initial thought was don't use a script. I mean, I've been there. I've used scripts before, and things I've done to try to make it easy it's hard. Sometimes it's hard depending on how good your eyes are and how old you are. Like, I've always had great vision, 20/20 vision my whole life until I hit 50, and now all of a sudden I can't read things close up. Like, this is all blurry to me right now. Anything within 10 feet of me gets blurry. I can see distance just fine. But that, there's a bit of a problem when it comes to reading a script. Like, if I don't want glasses on, say, when I make a video, the writing is going to have to be real big on my notes. If I tape notes to my tripod, the writing has to be really big. Otherwise, I have to wear my glasses. So that's one thing to consider. The lens that you use will affect how near or far you have to put your camera. Okay, so that's a consideration. If you're going to put your script below your camera, taped to your tripod, or even in a teleprompter, like right in front of your camera, you need it to be large enough and close enough that you can read it. Okay, so that might mean using a different lens. It might mean enlarging or shrinking the font, whatever. If you make it too big, then people will see your eyes moving back and forth if you're reading from a teleprompter. But honestly, all those concerns go away if you teach yourself how to just speak off the cuff, kind of like what I'm doing now. I know it's easier said than done, but I do try to make a lot of videos to try to convince people that they can do it too, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it until I could, right? Until I tried and forced myself and then kept forcing myself, right? I was uncomfortable. Do it. Make videos while you're uncomfortable. Very similar to the title of the video today that I put out, which was, what was it? What was my title? Had to do with comfort, I think. Man, my mind is going. Record when it's hard. Yeah, okay, kind of the same thing instead of uncomfortable. Record when it's hard. And you will get good at it, or good enough at it. You don't have to. That's the thing. Too many times, or not too. I mean, more often than not, people use scripts because, like, why are scripts used? Number one, well, if there's a whole bunch of technical information, you want to make sure you get it right, then you have to read from a script. I get that, but another reason people use scripts is because they want to construct what it is they want to say, and they don't want to leave anything out. And they feel like that way they'll be more perfect and the content will be more perfect. When in actual fact, even if to the letter the content is perfect, unless you're really good at talking to a teleprompter, it's not going to come across as authentically you as if you were just speaking to the camera lens. Okay? It's going to look like you're reading. To a trained eye and sometimes to an untrained eye. So that, you want, it's really hard not to. It's hard not to appear as though you're reading. So anyway, I know a lot use teleprompters, and I do too sometimes, but very rare these days. Record when it's hard is a bold title. LOL. Yeah. But it's true. Speaking off the cuff gets easier. Yes, it does. I'll keep trying to go without a script then. Awesome. Good luck with it. Have fun with it. Heidi says confidence comes after action, so starting is key. Another thing is don't tell your friends and family about your channel. There you go. There you go. All right. Let's get back to the cues. I love doing marketplace finds for classic cars and collectibles. I created a short on an old Honda 50 that got 50,000 views. Now I'm stuck with a not knowing what direction or products to create. Yeah, well, that's the danger of creating shorts like that, right? I guess my advice, if I created a short that was completely different. I mean, I say this now. I know I've done it. But now, what I know now, like 2 or 3 years later, since I've done that, I made a short about my boat and the rowboat that I was fixing at the time. And I put it on this channel. It may still be on the channel, or I may have unlisted it. I can't remember. But what I know now, today, I would not make that short and put it on this channel again. If I wanted to make that short, I would put it on another channel, maybe a personal channel, just a channel that I use for random stuff, right? That's where I'd put it, because I would not want a short teaching somebody how to repair a boat on this channel. I wouldn't want that short to go viral, because then I might get a whole bunch of subscribers that they want to see more of that. They want to see more shorts, and they want to see more shorts on boats, which they're not going to get on this channel. And so I don't want that. That's why I say if you want to use shorts, I think using shorts on a long form channel is a good strategy, but when used as a branding tool, just a way to get your face out there a little bit more in front of people, not for the intention of going viral, but if the right short goes viral, then all right, great. But taking clips from within your long form videos and using them almost as advertisements for your long form videos, right? Your long form channel. That's what I think is a good strategy, to use shorts if your focus and if you want to grow a long form channel. Okay, some people just want to grow short form channels, and that's fine. I'm not talking to those people right now. Nothing against those people. My advice doesn't apply to those people. So if you have multiple channels, how do you manage that? You can do that all within one YouTube account, right? One YouTube account, you can have multiple channels if it's a brand or a business account. And if it's not, you can change it to one. And you can have multiple. You just go into your YouTube studio and you can switch between accounts. But yeah, 2 channels could be twice as much work, unless one of them you're just using almost like a place to store the videos that don't belong on your main channel that you're trying to grow. Okay? What is the difference between a viral video and an evergreen video? Good question. Let me take a drink and think about that one. So, yeah, 2 different things. A viral video is a video that all of a sudden goes whoop, it goes straight up. It gets a ton of views. The way I look at it, or the way I define it, if you get a whole lot more views than you have subscribers, okay, or than you normally get on a video, that's a video going viral. And that could be a good thing. It could be very exciting. Evergreen is a video that gets a lot of views for a long time. Okay, typically a viral video will go up and then peter off, and then it stops going viral and now it acts like a normal video. Whereas evergreen is something that could keep getting views, and I can show you an example. Let's see here. Let me find it first. Content. Views. Bear with me 1 second here. Okay, there's that. If I go by view, okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so this is, here, let me drag this over so you can see it all. This is my YouTube studio, okay, the content tab, and I've just sorted it on number of views. Now, I don't know why it still lists this one on top of this one, because this one just passed, as you can see here, it just passed this one. But anyway, it is sorted on views. So viral, we can look at either of these 2. Let's look at this one. Go to the analytics. This one went viral. If I look at, say, the first 24 hours, it was doing a whole lot better than what videos had been doing at the time. And that's July 6th, so July 5th to 6th. If I go change that, custom from July 5th, 2024, let's go for 2 weeks. Let's look at the first 2 weeks of this video. That's what it did. So it went, and you can't even see what the normal, maybe it's not shown here, but it went way up. 32,000 views in the second day. Okay, and then it started coming down and it kind of leveled off. So if we go back to this graph, you can see, so that first bit that you saw there is when it grew right up there. Then it had a second life here. It got a lot of views, and then it kind of leveled off. And right now it's getting maybe 20 views a day, something like that. Okay, so that went viral. If I look at another one, this one, for instance, the new #1 video, this one, I mean, if you want to call that viral, I suppose, but then like it's having a resurgence now. It's doing, you can hardly even see it, but it's ticking up here. That's not maybe a good one to look at. Let's see. This thumbnails one, analytics. We'll look at that. Okay, so here's an example of an evergreen video. This video was doing average to above average, okay, for the first bit of its life. For the first 200 days, took 200 days to get to 6,500 views, okay, and then right around here, the slope started to increase, and now it's been on this steady slope where it's getting close to 1,000 views a day, and this is 450 days after I posted it. How to, 5-minute thumbnails in Canva, one of the videos I referred to earlier. Okay, so this has gone evergreen. This is now an evergreen video, and it will remain so until that graph levels off. Okay, maybe it never will. Who knows? Actually, I'll tell you, it'll probably level off when Canva changes the way I make my thumbnails. Like if their UI changes and I have to redo this video, then this video probably will stop getting views. I'll have another, if that happens, I will make this video again with the new UI, knowing how well this video has done and is doing. Okay, so yeah, so that, anyway, I think that answers your question, I hope. So yeah, evergreen gets lots of views, way off into the future. A lot of videos that go evergreen are ones where you've targeted search keywords. You've got keywords in your title and your description and what your video is about that people search for, and your video is found in search more. That's what I've found anyways. So things like how to make a 5-minute thumbnail in Canva, how to use I made a video on how to move your files from your phone to your computer. Like how-to videos, things that people might search for, have the potential to go viral or evergreen. Viral is typically something, if you catch on to like a trendy topic that a lot of people are looking for in the moment, you could get a whole bunch of views in a very short period of time. But then when that trend isn't trendy anymore, your video levels off. Okay, so that's probably the best way to explain it. In regards to your best video, where do we see on the analytics the live views for each video? Let's go back here. The live views for each video. You would go to your content tab, and for whatever video, you choose the video and you click on the analytics tab for that video. And it's right here, real time. So views in the last 48 hours, 5,500. And you can see where the views are coming from. Most are coming from browse features. This is my video that's doing the best on my channel right now, by the way. And you can change this to last 60 minutes. So that's real time. So in the last hour, wow, it's almost 200 views in the last hour. And you can see, again, you can see where those are coming from. So you do that for any video, right? So this one here, my first viral video, it's only getting 94 views in the last 2 days. 1 view in the last hour. Okay, so it's kind of had its run, but who knows? It might take off again at some point in the future if that topic gets trendy again. There you go. Is the estimated revenue accurate, and does your content affect the dollars per watch hour? Yes to the second question. Estimated revenue is not that accurate. It's an estimate, and that changes. In fact, it could change several times, right? The estimate is based on the data they have at the time. But what could happen, or what does always happen, is YouTube is always weeding out fake accounts, scammers, spammers, right? And as they delete, unwanted accounts like that, any views, like those accounts may have been used to view videos, those views would go away. Okay, so more often than not, estimated revenue ends up going down by a little bit when those accounts are wiped out. When YouTube does its audits periodically, I think it's ongoing, but also periodically they'll do a bunch. That's what I've noticed, anyways. Question, Rob, are you familiar NN? Don't know what you mean by that. So I guess no. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm a brand new YouTuber, but I also have another idea for another channel as well. Would you recommend waiting a certain amount of time before beginning a second channel? Not necessarily, right? If you have I will tell you, growing 2 channels at the same time is going to be very difficult because, it's hard enough to grow 1 channel, let alone trying to grow 2 at the same time. There are a lot of things you have to figure out. But if you are making videos and 2 different types of videos that don't belong together on the same channel, then yeah, start up another channel and put those other videos on that second channel. But I guess my advice would be to have your focus, the majority of your focus, on one of the channels and use the second one as kind of a backup. Again, as with most things that I say here, if your goal is to grow a channel and to turn it into something that makes you money, right? If that is your goal, because that's not everybody's goal. I have to keep reminding myself that. Some people just do YouTube because they want to do YouTube. They just want a place to put their videos, and that is totally fine. In that case, you can do whatever you want. You can put everything on one channel, and doesn't matter if they're not in the same niche. It doesn't matter because you don't care if your channel grows or not. So go for it. But if your goal is to grow a channel, maybe turn it into a business and make some money from it, maybe a full-time income from it, then there's some rules of thumb you want to follow. Like pick a niche, stay in your lane. If you have videos that don't fit in that niche, start up another channel or don't make those videos. There you go. When you rebooted your channel, this one just came in, and posted 3 videos and 1 live a week, how did you stop burnout, and did you plan out your topics or freestyle it as you went along? Good question. Let me put your question on screen. Take another little drink here. 230 people in the live. Welcome. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in. How did you stop burnout? I never got burnt out. I guess the main thing I'll say is it didn't happen because I really enjoyed what I was doing. I was doing what I wanted to do in my spare time. I didn't have spare time but I was doing what I wanted to do. So my kids have, I was going to say moved out, but one's still living here. As she goes to school, my son is moved out. You know, they're in their 20s. So it's not like I've got a young family. I've got to, raise, and I don't work full time for anybody else. So my time is mine, and so yeah, I can kind of construct my day as I see fit. And yeah, so burnout just didn't happen for me. It is something to be aware of, though. Like if you feel yourself getting burnt out, then you want to dial some things back a little bit. Absolutely. And did you plan out your topics or freestyle it as you went along? So I did some planning. So when I started with these 3 videos a week and 1 live a week, it was with kind of a very clear head. My plan was to make a whole bunch of Camtasia tutorial videos. How to do this, how to do that, how to do it this way, and so on and so on. Anything, I wanted to help people, to help turn people into video editors using Camtasia, which is what I was using. It was what I was using in my freelance career at the time as well, to edit videos for other people. So I was teaching people how to do that. And there's a whole bunch of things. If you get into video editing, you'll know there's a whole bunch of things you can learn how to do. And I didn't know how to do half the stuff I made videos about when I made the videos. But I would go through it. It's like, yeah, I'd like to know how to do that. And I was watching other tutorial videos on Camtasia, how to do certain things, often with older versions of Camtasia, and I would update that video. I'd say, yes, that is a good thing to know how to do. I want to know how to do it, so other people must want to know how to do it. I'm going to make a video on that. So yeah, I did a lot of research that way, and I kind of wrote down all kinds of ideas, how to do a whole bunch of things in Camtasia, and I started picking them off one at a time. Started with some shorter ones, and then some more complicated ones. But then once I got going, and because I was doing my live streams and keeping everybody up to date with what I was doing, and they would, I'd always talk about the 3 videos I made last week and the 3 I've got planned for this week. What else do you want to see me make? Right? That's kind of how all my lives were going at the time. And I got lots more ideas. And a lot of times those ideas that came to me, I would push some that I had written down aside to do the ones that people asked me to do. So my list wasn't rigid. It was, I could move things around. And when you say, or freestyle it, so what I'm thinking about there is like, did I just speak off the cuff like this to the camera? Not really. So when I was making those videos when I started, I did use a teleprompter for the intro and the outro or ending of all the videos. They were all the same. The intro, the same format, the same logo flying in and kind of hovering and then leaving, and I did all that. And if you look at my old Camtasia videos from like 3 years ago, you'll see them, or 2 years ago, 2 years ago, you'll see those. I would film the intro and the ending together at the beginning, because the intro I did not need to share my screen. I just recorded on this camera and this mic. And then there's my intro and ending. I'd put that in Camtasia, and well, I wouldn't put it in Camtasia yet, but then I would film the body of the tutorial, the meat of the tutorial. And with that, I share my screen. And for that part of it, I did not use a teleprompter. I spoke all the way through it. And depending on how complicated the thing was that I was demonstrating, I may have to write notes on a pad of paper that I'd have right in front of me. Do this, then that, then this, then that, and so on, just so I could refer to that. And then I went ahead and I did it. And every once in a while, I'd have to look down at my page and then back up. And I just kind of did it and talked my way through it. But then there was a lot of editing involved in that, because every time I looked down at my notes, I would edit that out. Okay, so I'd want to keep the tutorial as short as I could, understanding that when people are looking for tutorials on YouTube, they're looking for quick answers, quick solutions. So I wanted my videos to be short and that people can digest them quickly. And I wanted them to be helpful. So that's why I did. And then, I got ahead of the ball a little bit. Like I'd make, there were some cases I had up to 3 videos ready and scheduled for my next 3 days. And it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every week for several months. So anyway, that's a little bit about how I did all that. All right, where else now? What are we going? Did you guys know, if you guys were here last week, I wanted to share with you that, where is it? We did hit another record of 280 people in the live stream last week. So thank you for that. That was kind of cool. 280 people, like that blows my mind. We're at 227 right now. I don't know what we got up to, 249. So we may not hit the record again. They can't hit a record every week, right? But yeah, no, I thought that was pretty cool, and I appreciate all of you, and I hope you're getting some value from this. Again, I do this every week. I have a lot of fun with it. It can be tiring, but it's all good. There's a good question. Luke's. Rob, did you have to overcome the idea of putting your face out there? Did you ever consider going faceless because of this? Or were you always certain that you'd do a face channel? Great question. No, I was not always certain I wanted to put my face out there. And yes, I considered faceless until I did enough research and understood that that would just be making it harder for me to grow a channel. I wanted to grow a channel. I wanted to grow a channel, I think, before I knew why I wanted to grow a channel. At the time, I was looking at creating another income source, right? Or having it replace what I was doing full time. But as the more I got into it, I understood that the people that put their faces in their channels, and I'm not just talking like putting your face in a channel. It's not as simple as that. Like those who speak to the camera in their videos are more genuine, are more authentic, or they come across that way, right? And I was figuring that out just in the videos that I watched, right? I like watching videos like that. I feel more of a connection to the creator, which is great. If that creator is helping me and I feel a connection there, and if I leave a comment and they answer me, oh, that's cool, I like that, right? It's all good, because you don't typically follow people you don't like or you don't want to follow. So, if you can establish that connection, it's a lot easier to grow a channel. And also consider this, I learned early on that there was no way I was going to be able to come up with a unique idea for a YouTube channel that had not already been done. Okay, everything's been done. If you ask somebody from 10 years ago, what's that? 2016. So at the time, when was YouTube born? Like 2005 or 4 or something like that. So YouTube was already 10 or 12 years old, which is a lifetime in the tech industry. So 2016, millions and millions, maybe billion, I don't know. I have no idea. But a ton of people were on YouTube making money, watching videos, making videos, all this stuff. And if you asked anybody at that time, should I get into YouTube? I bet you a lot of people would say, no, it's awfully hard to get monetized and it's saturated anyways. Like, you're not going to be able to come up with anything new. You're going to get lost in a sea of creators, right? It wasn't true then, and it's not true today. So why do I say that? Well, you cannot come up with an idea that's not been done before. But one of the things that would distinguish you or set you apart from other people in your videos, which would be a good thing if you could make that happen, because then your videos would get more traction, more people would want to watch your videos. The way to set yourself apart is by you putting yourself in them. Like, that is the one guaranteed way to ensure your video is different than anybody else's. You're in them. So you could be in them talking about the same thing that 1,000 other people are talking about, but the difference is you. And there's going to be a percentage of people out there who would rather hear that information from you than anybody else. I don't care who you are. You've got a group of people out there waiting for you to speak up and make videos. They're waiting for you. Like, they might be watching other people, but they're waiting for you to come along and for you to say it. Say, yes, this, and whatever it is, it might be, oh, they live in the same state as I do, or, you know, the same age as me, same gender as me, or whatever it is, same history as me. We were both engineers. We're both in our 60s. We're both, whatever it is, there's going to be something about you that resonates with a percentage of the population. It might be 1%, but what's 1% of 8 billion? 0.8 billion. No, 0.08 billion. 80 million? I don't know. It's a lot. It's more subscribers than I have. So, right? So that's how you distinguish yourself. I learned that early on, or I figured that out, and based on my own viewing habits. And so I decided, you know what? Sure. The thing with faceless channels also is because so many people are hesitant to put themselves in their own videos, but want to do YouTube, so therefore they turn to Faceless and make a Faceless channel. And okay, and that might work, and I'm not saying Faceless channels can't work. I'm not saying that at all. They can totally work. I just think it's harder to make them work because you're taking yourself out of the equation. You now don't have that unique property of your videos, that unique property that is you. You know, if you use your voice but not your face, okay, a little better. But using your face and then eventually being able to make videos where you're kind of walking around, showing the scenery where you live, kind of like what I'm doing, people get interested in that. They get almost vested in your channel and your videos, and they can't wait for the next one. Right? What are you going to make next? What's Luke going to make next? I can't wait to see Luke's next video. Last time there was he was out filming when there was a sunrise and it was beautiful and there was snow. Where is he now? Where's it going to be next week? Right? Like, that's where you want to get. You get there, then it almost doesn't matter what you talk about in your videos. People will tune in and listen, and they'll come back. So anyway, that feels like a bit of a monologue there, or a sermon or something. Sorry about that. Hello there, Jack Unseen Adventures. I just did that. Made a video where I didn't really show myself. In 1 year, my channel has only grown to 670 subs, and every video I upload just seems to get less views. What advice can you give me? Still consistent? Show my face more? Yeah, show your face more. Be consistent. Always show up. Actually, I noticed somebody called me out on, or not called me out, I think liked a term I used on my recent video where I said, don't ghost your viewers. Right? Like, make videos, but then if you go kind of AWOL for a month, and then, you know, they could forget who you are if you haven't been around that long. So don't ghost your viewers. Like, keep showing up. And consistency does not necessarily mean posting the same day, same time every week. You can deviate from that. It just means just show up as often as you can. Oh, I like that channel, or not channel, question. And I'll go backwards. I know this one just came in. I know there's a lot of questions I have not answered. If you had to start a brand new channel today, what would you do in the first 30 days? All right, that actually would be a good title for a video. Maybe I should make a video on that, but I'll give you guys a sneak peek. What I would do in the first 30 days. Off the top of my head, I'd create the channel. I would know that I'm going to put myself in them. So I would take a photo of myself, probably my face, to use as the avatar. Set up my channel banner, maybe. I mean, not that necessary. Maybe just some text with my face at first. I'd come up with I'd settle on my niche. I'd come up with maybe a list of 5 topics to cover to get out of the gate with. I would, if I was to start a brand new channel today, so with or without the equipment that I have, let's say without, okay? So if I was starting brand new, I'm going to assume I have a phone, okay? So I'm just going to use the phone that I have for my camera. I would not buy this camera. I would not buy this mic. But I probably would buy the DJI mic that I have. This mic here that I use when I go outside. I clip that here. It's wireless. It's not cheap, but it's awesome. And if you can find the DJI mic, which is the original one, you could probably get it at a decent price because they have since come out with the 2, and then the 3 is the new one now. But this is the 1, and it works. They all sound, as far as I've heard, one is no better quality than the other. The 1, 2, and 3 are all the same quality, as is the Mini. They're all the same quality. The newer ones have slightly more features, which I don't use, obviously, because I have the old one. And the mic Mini does not have onboard storage, so you can't record directly to the mic and have it there. You need it paired to your phone. Anyway, I'd probably buy that so I have a good mic. Mic, phone, and probably a cheap tripod. This isn't cheap, but actually probably the other one that I use. This tripod I think is $19.99 right now on Amazon.com. I use this for all my outdoor walk and talk videos, except for yesterday's where I did not bring my selfie stick. And I would commit to going live in week 2. So the first 30 days, if I was starting today, I'd put a video out tomorrow, Friday, and maybe 3 next week. And then the following Tuesday, I'm going to go live. Like right away. I don't care how many subscribers I have at that point. I'm going to go live. And in all of my videos, I'm going to say, I'm starting live stream on Tuesday, whatever that date is, the 21st or whatever the date is. And I would advertise that in my videos, and then I'd go live. And then when I go live, I would just be like this, but nobody was probably going to show up, or not many people, maybe a few. Go from there. I'd just talk about whatever it is I was talking about in my videos. Hopefully some people show up. If they don't, no big deal. Then the live might be a little shorter than normal. If not, I'll just kind of politely sign off and say, well, hopefully some people show up next week. Look for if you see this on the replay, look for a video tomorrow because there's going to be one. That's what I would do. That's how I would start this. And I'm pretty confident I'd be able to build a channel pretty quickly if this one went away and I had to start over. Catherine, does replying to comments quickly help the algorithm? Replying to comments quickly. I don't know for sure if it does, but I try to. I mean, not always. You can't always reply that quickly. So I would just say do what you can and not worry about that too much. I wouldn't go a week. Like I'm replying to comments every day. That's the first thing I do when I come down here. This is a basement bedroom turned office. First thing I do is I look at my comments and I'll start answering some. And when I post a new video, I will answer some as quickly as I can. Now today I posted a video, what was it, an hour before this live started? So I answered a few of those actually while I was walking, coming back here. I answered a few, I think, but they're just sitting there waiting for me to answer. So I'll get into that when this is over. Yeah, I like to answer as quickly as I can, but I don't mind it. I like it, actually. I like it. It's a way to connect with your audience. And I think it's a big part of growing the channel. Alrighty. Looking back at your content, in YouTube journey, what stands out as your biggest I should stop doing that moment? I don't know if it's the biggest, but the first one that comes to mind is when I made those Camtasia tutorial videos. I had a little intro in all of them. Now, I started them, if I recall correctly, I started them all with my face saying, in this video, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. But as soon as I finished that sentence, it went into like an intro, like an animated thing where I had the Camtasia logo and the title flying in a certain way and the music playing, and I think that may have lasted 5 seconds or so. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably have the title pop up down on the bottom of the screen while I was talking, and I would not stop talking. I would have the video keep going because you don't want to lose people. You want people to keep being engaged. So probably that. And I don't do that anymore. Well, I don't make tutorial videos that much anymore anyways. And also my thumbnails, right? Like if I look at my thumbnails back then, they look dated to me. Like I had the thick white outline around my face and stuff like that, which I was doing because I thought that was what you were supposed to do because a lot of the big YouTubers were doing it. So, my thumbnails were very manufactured. Now for tutorial videos, perhaps there is some of that has to be done because you want visually people to understand what your video is about. So maybe you have to put a logo in there or a little picture of Camtasia or whatever. But so there's that. No, see, but here's the thing. Anything I look back at that I can now say, oh, I'm glad I stopped doing that, I don't regret having done it, right? I had to do it to learn that I don't want to do it, like for the thumbnails and for the intro flying in and all that stuff. Like, you have to go through these things. There's no way to start YouTube and be perfect from day one all the way through. No one gets it all right because YouTube is all about trying things, seeing if they work. If they don't do it again. If they do work, do it more, right? That's kind of the way I look at YouTube. Again, YouTube has not provided us with a manual that guides us through all these things. We have to learn these things as we go. So how do we learn? We learn by doing and trying and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. So yeah, no, anything that I've done on YouTube, it's all part of my journey and part of my growing, my growth, my learning experience. I still have my first video ever that I put on YouTube on my channel. You can go back and see it. And it's horrible. It's horrible. And I've left it there just as a reminder. Here's where you came from. And I'm not saying that to say that I'm perfect now because I'm not. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to get better, trying to teach myself a new editing app at the moment. So that's growth, right? I'm just always trying to get better. And I enjoy this. Again, you have to enjoy the whole process of trying to get better in order to be able to make it work. There we go. Question, can we add keywords, offensive content to the settings before going live for trolls? I think you can. I think you can. Yes, you can in your is it your channel settings? I've never done that, but I now have a few moderators in here who can maybe catch some of that stuff for me. That's the best way to do it. You just if you're going live and you have some people, some regulars that show up all the time, you can say, hey, would you like to be a moderator? And if you see anybody saying stuff that you don't think I'd want here, you can delete them or put them in timeout and stuff like that. So that's the best way. Yeah, but I mean, there has been times that I've been doing a live, and then all of a sudden I'll notice, oh wow, what was that? Like somebody was spamming with, bad words and just being a nuisance, and I didn't realize it because I didn't have an eye on the chat the whole time. But what my way of dealing with that at the time, I think what I just did was like, oh, whoops, looks like we got a spammer. Hang on 1 second. I am going to hide them, and then I do it, and they're gone. That's how I handle it. And within 5 seconds, I will have even forgotten what they even said. Like, I don't let it bother me at all because it doesn't matter. Steve says, I watched my first video back the other day for a laugh. Yeah, it's good to do that sometimes and see where you've come from, or see how far you've come. Absolutely. And be proud. How do I get my channel monetized fast? Well, you make videos that people want to watch, and you make them often, and that's it. Make videos that people want to watch. People within your niche. Stay in your lane. Make videos that people want to watch. That people want to watch from the beginning to the end. The more videos you make like that, the faster you will grow your channel. The more watch time you will get, the faster you'll get monetized. There you go. That's interesting. Yeah, I can't pop that up here because I'm searching for cues right now. But Luke says, not a question, Rob, but just found out your subscribers make up 0.001175% of the global population. Woohoo! That's awesome. Do you use a gimbal? What brand? No, I don't. I just use either this selfie stick or this tripod or this selfie stick, and my iPhone goes on the end of those. And the reason I don't need a gimbal is because my phone has built-in stabilization. I use an iPhone. If you use an iPhone, and if your iPhone is version 14 or newer, then it has the enhanced stabilization built in. So what that is basically, it's basically a gimbal via software. It uses software to level things out and to keep things smooth. So if I had an older phone or a phone that didn't have that, then I would probably want to get a gimbal. But I'm glad it has that because a gimbal would add weight. And if you're holding your phone out here all the time, and if you're making a video that's an hour long or half hour long even, your arm can get tired. All right. Crime stories, horror stories, black stories, which one will be best? If you're trying to figure out what niche to create your channel around, the one that works the best is the one that you are either more knowledgeable about or the one you enjoy talking about the most. Don't worry about what people like. You can't just say, oh, like for instance, one of the best niches out there in terms of revenue per 1,000 views is finance, like how to make money, right? How to invest, retirement, all that kind of stuff. High earning potential with those. But just because that's the case doesn't mean you should all go out and start finance and investing channels, right? If you don't know anything about that, then your channel's not going to be successful because you're not going to be able to make videos that people want to watch in that niche. So that's what I'll say to your question. I don't know anything about the topics you listed, but pick the one you're most interested in and and can talk about for the longest, for a long period of time. That's your best chance at success. How can I move videos from my main channel to my second channel? If you want to do that, then I would delete it off your main channel. Or if you want, you've got a video over here and you want to put it over here on this channel, delete it off of this channel first and then upload it to this channel. That's it. You'll lose your views and watch hours, obviously, because it's going to start over as a brand new video. Okay? You can't just move from one channel to another. Okay, there's a question. Dirt Princess. Rob, if you were starting out and didn't have your nice server for storage, what would you get to save your videos and raw footage at reasonable cost, not cloud? Thanks and Happy New Year. Yeah, so what I would do, so I have a NAS, and I've made a video on how I use that. But yeah, if I did not have that, then honestly, what I'd probably do, I would get 2 backup drives. And they don't need to be that big. Let me think about this. So here's the way you think about it. You can only have so many videos on your computer, right? You're going to have to get them off. And in my case, I usually have about a month's worth of videos on my Mac. at any one time. And then once it's been on my computer for 3-4 weeks, I move it off to another storage device. What I would probably do, and then you would want to back that up. Okay, storage devices will fail eventually. Okay, this one, I haven't actually used this in a while, but I used it when I made a video, and it's a handy. I can't even read what it is. It's the Samsung T7, but I don't know what size. It's 1 or 2 terabytes. This here, and it's just USB-C, so easy to plug into a computer that has USB-C. Macs, for instance. 2 terabytes will hold a lot of videos. Like I mean, I'd have to do the math, but I bet you a year's worth of YouTube videos you could fit on one of these. So what I'd probably do is get 2 of these for each year and back it up to both, right? Have one and have 2 copies of it. And then one of those copies, I'd probably, if you want to be extra safe, you'd move that off-site. Like in my case, I take it to my brother's house. So I have the NAS, but then I have it back up weekly to a drive and then monthly to a different drive. And that monthly one I take to my brother's. And then once a month, I go grab it and bring it in and do a backup and take it back to him, right? So that, and the reason to have an off-site version is in the event of like some kind of a disaster, like fire, right? If this house burnt down, I don't want to lose everything. I want to have a copy somewhere else, and I do. Okay, but at a lower level, you also want to prevent this from failing, because this will fail eventually. And if you have another one that it backs up to, you have 2 copies, then that's redundancy there. So that's the way I do that. And you could label these, right? Like videos 2025 here, or however you want to do it. Maybe you need more, or maybe you get a larger one. You can get 4 terabyte versions. Maybe 1 terabyte's enough. You'd want to go back and do some math as to how much space your videos are taking up before you figured out what size to get. And then just make it a part of your routine. For my monthly backups, I have it scheduled in my Google Calendar. I think it's the last Friday of every month is when I do it. I go get that drive. Bring it in here, and I think the next day I go back and take it back to my brother. So you could do the same sort of thing, just put reminders in your calendar for however often you want to do a backup. Okay, I hope that helps. Yeah, Scott, YouTube has been known to delete a channel and then you lose your content if you do not have your own backup. Yeah, that's what I'd be. I mean, I've heard stories like that. Obviously, it's never happened to me, but yeah, you want to guard against that because at the end of the day, like we don't own YouTube. YouTube is a company, and who knows, could go bankrupt, and then boom, all your stuff's gone. So, if heaven forbid, but if my channel goes away, I have a copy of every video I've ever uploaded, as well as the thumbnail. I've got all that. And the title, don't know that I have, well, I could figure that out. Yeah, I do. So, and it's the way I store all my stuff. Every video I make starts as a folder, right? A folder, and I've got the date in the folder and then the title name, or what I think the title name was going to be at the time that I created the folder. And then within that folder, I've got the Camtasia project file, or now Final Cut Pro project file, and then all of my recordings, another folder, like for my phone recordings, and then audio, well, I don't actually usually separate my B-roll, but however you want to organize it. Thumbnails. I have a thumbnails or a thumbnail folder that I bring in my screenshots and save the final thumbnail in. So all my projects are saved like that. And then when I move them off to my not backup drive, but my off computer storage, I separate them in years. Like I've got 2025, and below that I've got all the months. So January 2025. Inside that I've got 10 videos, or however many videos I made that month, right? All the folders are in there. So I could go back and restore anything if I needed to. David, Connor Official, Happy New Year to you, David, too, as well. Thanks for all that you share. My question is, for a new channel, is one weekly video enough to get started, or is 3 the minimum to grow your channel? I am working full-time. Now, you don't need 3 to grow. I mean, it's going to depend on your channel. It's going to depend on your content. I would say show up as often as you can, comfortably, without burning yourself out. So I look at 1 a week as being kind of the minimum to start at. If you want to grow a channel, you want to give yourself a good chance at growing a channel, you show up once a week, that's pretty good. Okay? Twice a week is better. 3 times a week, that might even be considered overkill if your videos are longer. In my case, my videos were mostly 5 to 8 minutes, my tutorial videos, or even shorter. Like they were on the short end, so 3 a week of those, not so bad. Plus, my thought process at the time was I'm building a library of how-to stuff for this software. So 3 a week, I could have made more than that if I wanted to. But yeah, so depending on what your channel is, how long your videos are, if you're going to make a 20-minute video, let's say, I'd say once a week is just fine. But I would also encourage you to go live once a week as well. Once you have a couple videos up on your channel, say 2 or 3. Maybe start by doing a couple videos a week for a couple or a few weeks. That's a kind of a good way to kickstart your channel. Like do 2 a week if you can for say 2 or 3 weeks. Now you've got 2, 4, 6 videos on your channel. Start doing live streams and bring it back to 1 a week. And then maybe you have some momentum. You can kind of keep that going. How do you get and maintain a NAS drive? Well, you can get one on Amazon. So I've got the Synology, what's it called? DS1621, I think it's called. You just buy it, and then you buy drives for it. And maintain it. I mean, it kind of maintains itself. I reboot it every once in a while. It's just like any other computer. And you connect to it via your network. So it's plugged into my home network, as is my computer here. And I can actually access that drive from anywhere in the world, from the or with an IP address, right? Password protected and all that. So like last June when I went out west with my son, there was some footage I wanted to get from a specific video. I was editing a current video, and I could just not dial in, but on the internet, right? I could just bring up my NAS that was here back in Nova Scotia from BC. And then transfer files. So that was kind of cool. Are your live streams your bread and butter? If by that you mean bring in the most income? No, they aren't at all. No. How do I? So I don't make money at these live streams, really. I mean, a little bit here and there. There's some super thanks to come in, which is great. I'm grateful for. Thank you very much. But no, for the most part, these live streams are just a way for me to get in front of my viewers, make myself available to my viewers to help grow the community that is my channel, my lives, my videos. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it. It's the community. It's part of building the community around what I'm doing here. But all of it together, I guess my bread and butter. I make money from AdSense, which is the ads from the videos I make. And I don't make much AdSense from the live streams. They get views the first week, but then after the week is done, I then make another live, right? So the older ones don't tend to get a lot of people watching backwards. Like live streams do not go evergreen, right? I guess maybe you could come up with a topic for a live stream that could go evergreen, I suppose, but mine don't. So no, I would say the bulk of my bread and butter, if that's what you're referring to by that, the bulk of my income would come from the coaching that I do and the courses that I sell, the things that I do outside of YouTube. But YouTube is like the engine that drives this. It's my marketing engine. So every time I put out a video, that's another asset that, yeah, it could make me some AdSense money, but also it's another, a way for potential future clients to find out about me. And oh, he offers coaching. Great. Let me look into that. Right. So yeah, all of it together though. There's also affiliate revenue. You make affiliate revenue. So I have links in the descriptions of all of my videos on the equipment that I use to make my videos. Cameras, tripods, mics, stuff like that. So if anybody ever clicks on one of those links and buys something at Amazon, I would get a small commission from that. So don't know if that answers your question, but there you go. Do you find tutorial videos still get traction like they did a few years ago, or is the current trend move towards talking head or vlog style videos? I would think tutorial videos would still get traction. Sure. I do think with AI becoming more prominent, it's going to be harder and harder to make a go with tutorial type channels, just because people are using AI to make those types of videos. But I will go back to the fact that if you put yourself in your videos, even if it's a tutorial video, that will then help yours stand out. So yeah, no, like again, I don't think anything is saturated. I don't think there's any problem there. So yes, you can certainly make a go of tutorial. You know, a tutorial video is something that you're helping other people out with. I mean, software is changing all the time. So tutorial videos always need updating or new people to make them, right? So I think there's definitely room for more of that. Rob, just to clarify, the NAS is just for backup, not to use as an editing drive. So in times of need, you would access the content to put on your system to work within the backup again, NAS. That's correct. I do not edit off of my NAS. My NAS is just a place to store my content. If I need if I need any of that content on any project I'm working on, my project the videos I work on are always on my Mac, like they're in the hard drive or the SSD that's in my Mac. Some people will edit directly off of one of these. Right, I've seen people even have like a little magnet and they'll attach it to their Mac, and then this is just plugged into the Mac. Because it's an SSD and because the USB-C ports or Thunderbolt ports are so fast, you can edit off of these. But through my network and to the NAS, and my NAS does not have SSDs, it has HDDs, hard disk drives, which spin like an old record player. It takes a while for them to spin up and to get the information off of them. That would be a nightmare to try to edit off of that. So no, if I had to use something, I would move it back onto my computer and then save a copy of it and put that copy of it in my new project folder and then edit accordingly. And then when I'm done, or a few weeks later when I need some more space, I'll then move that whole project to the NAS. Assuming your aim is education and your niche is more limited, how do you consistently generate content ideas for the twice weekly publication schedule? The first thing that came to mind was if you don't have enough content to publish twice a week, then just publish once a week. If you have enough ideas to go twice a week, then do that. If you want to find more ideas so that you can post twice a week, ask your viewers. Get in the habit of asking your viewers in your videos, perhaps as you're signing off, is there anything else you'd like me to talk about? Let me know in the comments below. Say stuff like that. Pin a comment at the top of your comment section of your video. Say, if there's anything else you want, that's a typical thing to ask. If there's anything else you'd like to see me make a video about, let me know. If you want me to dive deeper into anything that I talked about in this video, let me know that too, and that might be my next video. Get in the habit of always saying that if you're struggling to come up with ideas, because ultimately you want to make videos that your viewers want to watch. So maybe ask your viewers, what do you want to watch? Right? That's the way I would look at it. Let's see. Lots of great questions, everyone. Scott. Yes, actually, yeah. Great questions today. Can you do a training sometime on how noobs could create courses? I have a lot of content, but I'm tech challenged. I would love to learn how to actually create a course professionally. Yes, I can, and I've got that on several lists to do, how to create courses, and how to sell them too, right? Like all of that. And maybe it kind of came a little bit naturally to me just because that's kind of my background. I made videos like this, like tutorial type videos, how to put your face picture in picture and move it around and all that is not that difficult for me to do, but I understand it's difficult if you haven't done it before. So yes, I just don't know how yet I would do that because there's a lot involved that might end up having to be a course and not just a video, like one video or a series of many videos, but I don't think I can do that on this channel. I'd start to lose a lot of people. So yeah, but no, I've got it written down. I just don't know how I'm going to present that yet. Edit directly off the NAS, no problem. Synology DS920 Plus, cache SSD. There you go. You're more technically proficient than I am. Yeah, I guess you'd need like 10 gig I don't know. Yeah, it gets complicated. With enough money though, you can solve any problem, right? Andrew Jones, yes, lives contribute to watch hours for monetization. Yes, they do. 50 subs before you can go live on your phone. That is correct. 50 subs, but no such requirement to go live from a computer. I'm not sure why that is, but it is. How does one decide the fee to set for their course? Well, that's a business decision, right? You have to. How long did it take you to make the course? How many people do you think are going to buy it? Right? There's a lot of questions to ask yourself. Maybe do some research on other companies or other channels that offer a similar course. What do they charge? What do they offer for what they charge? Right? Base it off of several factors and then be comfortable with what you set the price at. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. There's no right answer to that. What is the most and least enjoyable part of your current content creator career? Especially interested in your least enjoyed aspect. I'd say that, you know what? I don't know that there's a part that I don't like. I could say, I get up really early, but I don't mind doing that. That's usually Peanut's fault. She wakes me up and she wants to get fed in the morning. That's a little bit annoying, but it gets me up, and I'm usually in my office by 5:30 or 6 because of that. I love answering comments. I love doing these lives. I'm tired at the end of these lives. I'll say that. I need a bit of a break usually after these lives. But, that's not a... You know what? I consider myself lucky. I love what I do. I don't know that I'd have it any other way, really. Editing can be frustrating. I say that now as I'm trying to learn a new editing app, Final Cut Pro. So not knowing exactly how to do it efficiently right now is a little bit frustrating for me because I know Camtasia so well. I could edit this video in 30 minutes in Camtasia, and it's taken me 3 hours in Final Cut Pro just because I don't know Final Cut Pro yet and how to move things around as easy. So that's a little frustrating, but it is and it isn't. I look at that as learning, right? I'm learning as I go. I guess sometimes it's frustrating. You don't get the views that you think a video deserves. I have been there before where I've been frustrated by that, but I always come back to you never know. You never know how well a video is going to do until you post it, and you can quite easily be surprised by the ones that do really well and surprised by the ones that don't do well. And there is no relation between the effort you put into a video and how well it does on YouTube. That I've found out. If I were to go, I'm just going to go quickly look at something here and just to see See more. Okay, wow. So, all right, so I'm going to share this with you. Just because. Okay, so there's my real-time stats on this channel. This is the live stream. Okay, 697 views in the last hour. That's phenomenal. Where'd it go? Okay, it's here. Okay, so this here is the video that I put out this morning. Okay, so it's not doing as well as I thought. I was gonna show you how well this video is doing, based on the not based on, but in relation to the effort I put in, because I didn't put a ton of effort into that video, and maybe it's showing because it's not doing so great right now. At least I don't think it is. Yeah, no, it started above the curve and now it's coming below the curve. But that might also be because the people who would normally watch this aren't watching it now because you're here. Maybe that's the case, right? So maybe this video is competing with my live stream on YouTube right now. Basically like releasing 2 videos at one time. That could very easily be the case. I haven't thought about that. I usually like to put my videos out on Mondays or Wednesdays, but today I chose Tuesday because it was ready. Almost been 2 hours. Don't forget, you said you needed to cut back. Yes, it has almost been 2 hours. Wow. And I have a meeting in an hour, so I can't go too far beyond 2 hours. But thank you for the reminder. All right. Alex says, guys, I'm 1 or 2 days away from 4,000 watch hours. Awesome. Congrats. That's awesome. Wow, it used to be 1,000. That's a big change. 1,000. Maybe you're talking about subscribers. 3, oh, where'd it go? 3 best commentators on your live streams. Does commenting a lot lead people to your YouTube channel? Does commenting a lot lead people to your YouTube channel? I'm not sure I understand the question. And there's no way I can rank my commenters or commentators because you're all wonderful. Is that what you mean by commentators? Like people who are commenting in the live stream? You're all equally wonderful. But does commenting a lot lead people to your YouTube channel? I don't really know what you mean. Some people comment a lot. I think a lot of people don't comment at all and just tune in and watch. Well, I know that's the case. If you compare the numbers of people in the chat and numbers to the people who are actually watching, they're different. So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. Should my first video be somewhat of an introduction or just start making a few videos first? Yeah, so I've kind of gone back and forth on this a bit. At one time, I used to tell people if they're just getting started, they don't know what to start, what to make their first video about, and I would say, just introduce yourself, right? Make a video introducing yourself. And that might be good for somebody to do who's just getting used to being on camera and whatnot. But a video like that may not do that great because if there's not a central topic. So I do suggest just start with something you think is going to resonate with people, like a topic. Talk about a topic. And then introduce yourself at the end of the video, quickly if you want. And then maybe eventually you can make an introduction video that's kind of short. You could use it as a channel trailer if you want. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to make that as your first video. Wow, we got a couple of super chats here. Let me go find them in Ecamm so I can post them up here. We'll do Scott's first. Thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate that. And your question, does the super chat animation include the sound in the animation, or do you trigger the audio sound separately in a Stream Deck multi-action trigger? I know exactly what you're talking about because, as you've probably figured out, because I know you use Ecamm, when you when you bring an animation into Ecamm, the audio doesn't come with it. And I don't know why that is, but it doesn't. So you have to bring the audio in separate. And yeah, I believe the way I have it set up is as a multi-action thing. I quite often get confused with the way that is set up. Let me try to find this. Yeah, here. I will show you this. Here's my Stream Deck. Okay, so it looks kind of small. Sorry about that. But if I click on here, and I've got so many buttons because I actually use my my iPad. So that's what I'm using as my Stream Deck right there. Okay, so that's why all those buttons. So I just pulled that up on that screen, which I'm sharing with you now. And if I just click on, here's my Super Chat button right here. Multi-action. Okay, I've got 4 actions. So if I click here, this is how I'm making it happen. Ecamm Live, play a sound. Okay, that's the foghorn sound. Ecamm Live, play an animation. That's the animation. A multi-action delay. So you can click each one of these and see, yeah, you can see Super Chat audio .wave, Super Chat boat version 2, and the delay was 6 seconds, 6,000 milliseconds, and the reason that's in there is because this last one, show or hide the overlay, that's basically going to hide that boat animation when it's done. I want after 6 seconds, I want it to disappear off the screen. So that's why I've added that. You don't have to add that if in your animation you've taken things off of your screen in the animation. Then you don't have to add that, but I did. So that's how I did that. But yeah, I don't know why Ecamm works that way. You'd think they'd make it easier. And there was another one. Where'd you go? Balloon Guy, where is your comment? There we go. There we go. Super Chat. Thank you so much, Balloon Guy. I really appreciate that. And you don't have a question. That was just a generous tip. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for the Super Chat. Appreciate you. All right. What do you think off-camera eye contact? I'm curious about your thoughts. What do you think off-camera eye contact? I think you need to look at the camera. I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. I think it's important to make eye contact with the camera. Treat the camera lens like it's a friend that you're talking to. So one of my pet peeves is when people are using a phone and because they're using the selfie camera side, they're probably looking at themselves, but the camera is off to the side, right? So it's natural to want to look at yourself, I guess. It's like looking in the mirror when you're talking. But if you do that, it's going to look like you're not looking at the lens. I'm looking over here all the time, talking as if I'm talking to you, but I'm not. You're over here. So I think it's important to know where the lens is. But I don't think you need to stare at it all the time. I think you can, like, I look around like this sometimes when I'm thinking, but I come back to the lens. Right? I'm talking to you. I come back to you. You want the person on the other end to feel like you're talking to them. Right? And that's another thing I've said before. I haven't said it in a while, but when you make a video, even if it's going to be seen by thousands of people, you want to make that video as if you're talking to one person, right? I'm talking to you. Did I just spit on the lens? I think I did. Excuse me for 1 second. Let me just clean the lens a little bit. There we go. Being real. Hey, that's authentic. What was I saying? Yeah, talk to one person. Because then that person will feel more like you are talking to them and will feel that connection more. You increase the chances you get a subscriber, a return viewer, all that good stuff, right? The video will come across more authentic. That's one of the dangers, I think, in using a teleprompter, because when you're using a teleprompter, you kind of have to stare at the lens all the time, which might not sound like a bad thing, because if you look away, you're going to, oh, what was that word? You got to come back. That's just not how people generally talk to other people. Maybe it's different in other cultures, but what I'm used to, if somebody's talking to me, they're not usually staring at me. If I'm talking to somebody, I don't typically stare at them. I'm looking over here, I'm looking over there, and then I come back, and right? That's hard to do if you're having to read from a teleprompter. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so not necessarily do I agree you've got to have eye contact all the time, but I do think you have to know where the lens is so that you can come back to the eye contact from time to time. I wish we could thumbs up the chat here. If you've thumbsed up this live stream, I appreciate you. Thank you. As a heavy viewer of YouTube, I appreciate eye contact, but don't stare. There you go. Cool tip, easy online impact. What do they say? You can create the animation complete with sound in Keynote, Mac, and export it as a movie, then convert to WebM format, makes 4 actions into 1. Okay. That's okay, very good. Yeah, the way I did it is I made mine in Camtasia, the animation. I exported it, but then when I realized the audio didn't go with it, like the music or whatever, I then from Camtasia exported the audio only as a separate file. So now I've got the 2 files and I bring them into Ecamm. That's the way I did it. How important do you think video quality is? For example, filming 4K on a phone or action cam versus shooting on a mirrorless. Do you think most people notice that, or is it just us pixel peepers? Most people don't notice. Unless your channel is about cameras, camera equipment, and quality of videos, and you're pointing that out, then I don't think it really matters that much, honestly. Again, I've seen people do really well and have successful channels using the webcam in their MacBook, right? Which is a horrible camera, but lighting can help. But even in that case, the lighting wasn't great. But what the difference maker was the content. People wanted to know what she had to say. Okay, they liked her content, not how it looked or how it sounded, but the content, the actual content. Right? That is the most important thing by far. Far more important than 4K versus 1080 versus 720 versus 30 frames per second, 24, 25, 50, 60, all that stuff. None of it matters as much as the content in your video, the stuff you're talking about. There you go. Two minutes. I've got to go in 2 minutes. The guy that made the Pickle Pepsi video was filming with a rock, and it got millions of views. I don't know what you mean by filming with a rock. Is that just another word for a bad camera? But yeah, that's to my point, right? You don't need, it's not the quality that matters. It isn't necessary to be perfectly framed unless it's a talking head. Use the rear camera for walk and talk, vlogging anyway, and don't worry about it. I learned this from Rob. Yeah, I was just going to say that's exactly the way I look at it. I mean, if you do it enough, a walk and talk, looking at the back of your camera, you're not going to see yourself, so you don't know if you're in frame. You can do a test, right? Like press record, and now test, hello, hello, and then take a look, and like stop that test video and take a look. And then make adjustments if you feel like you need to, and then just do it. Have I made videos where, the top half of my head was cut off for the majority of the video? Yeah, I still posted them because, again, I'm sharing my thoughts in those videos. I'm talking. Nobody's going to care if half my head's cut off in the video or if I'm cut off here. I would like for that not to happen. I'm going to try not to let that happen. So when I see that in a video, I'm just going to make a mental note and say, crap, okay, I need to pay more attention to the angle of my camera next time. All right, got it. But I'm not going to not post that video. I'm still going to upload the video. I'm not going to throw away a couple hours of work just because of or an hour of going outside and filming. I'm not going to do it again. There was one time that I did it again. I was at the beach. I was with my phone and probably this tripod because it was like over a year ago, I think. And I was taking some what I thought might be good B-roll shots, like of some boats and stuff. And then when I was ready to record, I turned it around, I pressed record, and talked for, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever. And it wasn't until I got home that I realized that I had the 5x zoom button pressed. So I was right up here the whole time for 30 minutes. I couldn't post that. So I did not post that. I was just like, crap. Okay, I need to make that again tomorrow. That was it. So yeah, but I haven't done it again. Right? I always check. Not only do I check, yeah, is it recording? Yes, it is. Is it on 1x? Yes, it is. Good. So one thing I learned, and I check that all the time now. That was a good story to wrap up on, Rob. Go take a break. Are you trying to get rid of me? You trying to get rid of me? I'm just going to stay for another hour just because. No, I'm kidding. I am going to go. Thank you, guys. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you had some fun. I did. I always do. I may come out with another video this week. I don't know yet. If I don't, I'll probably come out with one next week. So look for those. And failing all that, I guess I'll see you in next week's live stream. Thumbs down? I just got a thumbs down for that? Maybe that was an accident too. Anyways, have a great night, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.